Hello everyone. Welcome to The Source. Today is April 21st, and this is the Global Women's Empowerment Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We have I Am That, I Am Rich. We have Misty Fredericks. We have Yahira. And I'm going to go ahead and do an introduction of the show first, and then we'll go around and everybody will introduce themselves. And then we'll open it up for a group discussion of the best ways to move this forward. So first off, Global Women's Empowerment is, let's see here. It is a global call for the unification and empowerment of all women everywhere. Essentially, it's the call to unite 3.75 billion women as the most powerful organization or network or group on the planet, to a place where it's easy to hold space for all men, for their healing, their growth, their transformation. And then we have the 7.5 billion united, and it is the completion of paradise on earth. This is an open space for sharing your visions, your dreams, your aspirations, who you are and what you're doing. Let's all collaborate on projects and missions to bring in a better world for all. Let's see here. We have some systems built already in place for this show. Our official grand opening launch will be maybe next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, going live on Facebook Live. We are pretty much ready for that. So here's some systems we already have in place. I'm going to bring those up on the screen. So here is our project management space. Roles, every individual that shows up can step into various roles, whether it be taking notes, doing minutes, or project management, or whether you want to be a host of this show or any of our shows, and whether you would like to help with social media and marketing, or creating promotional videos, or doing graphics, or helping us build out a website, or any roles of an organization or business. You can step into what you love to do and what you'd like to bring towards this mission or any of our missions or shows. We create an ideal collaborator list, which here, I'll show you that. This is just a list so far of many different organizations, websites, and events that are women's empowerment missions. And these documents will be shared, so any of us can add to the list, and then any of us can contact any of the organizations or leaders and invite them to the show and introduce themselves and what they're doing, and then join us in collaboration. So here is our project management space. What we do is we create a ClickFunnels and Slack chat space, so essentially like a landing page to draw in everybody who's interested, and then a Slack chat space for collaboration all day, every day, all week, when we're not live on the air, space for people to collaborate and connect and whatnot. We have the weekly live show, Global Women's Empowerment, Fridays 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's the call-in information. We have a weekly newsletter in which we can announce updates of what we're doing. We have social media push, so we can agree to what messaging we want to put out there and share that with all of our networks through social media, through our email lists, texting to friends and family, and flyers around your town, every way you can think of. So we have some messages we put out linked here. Meeting minutes, so far where we're at is we're at the about Global Women's Empowerment level. We're at identifying roles and rallying collaborators and setting action steps and goals into place. Bring ideal collaborators live on the weekly show. Write a letter inviting ideal collaborators. So here's the letter. Dear co-creators, we would like to extend you the invite to join us for Global Women's Empowerment, our live interactive project management show. What is Global Women's Empowerment, you ask? Global call for unification and empowerment of all women everywhere. An open space for sharing your visions, dreams, and aspirations, who you are and what you're doing. And let's all collaborate on projects and missions to bring in a better world for all. Thank you for all you are and do. We are uniting all leaders and organizations to build out the resource-based economic system for our planet. And the global women's empowerment is an important piece that will unify all women everywhere. And women collectively will be the most powerful group on the planet at this time. And in this place, we'll be able to hold space for all men to let go, surrender, to heal, grow, and transform. Let's come together and collaborate, share what you're doing, and how others can get involved with your projects. To schedule your introduction, if you'd like to schedule like an interview or a feature of yourself or your organization, we'll have a form that you can complete and pick what day and time you'd like to present. And then we can promote in advance our schedule and all of our different presentations as a unified event. So here's the information to call in. And that's about it, other than we'll be going Facebook Live most likely next Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. A party, you know, may all of our shows become a party around the world, online, showcasing all the things that we're doing to bring in a better world. That's about it. So if you guys would like, we can each introduce ourselves, what we're doing, what draws you to this mission. And I'll go around in a circle here. We have I Am Rich, we have Misty, and we have Yahira.
Just any one of us, just start?
Oh yeah, you go ahead, you go first.
Okay, cool. I'm really glad to be a part of this women's empowerment group, mainly because I am a woman, and also because I've lost dozens of women to many abuses and self-abuses throughout my lifetime. As I'm 45 years old, I was born and raised in New York. I lived in Los Angeles and Santa Fe, New Mexico. Between those three states, I've met many, 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 many women who just couldn't seem to get off the streets or find a safe place or a home. I was diagnosed when I got sober in 2012. I was diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar 2, a rapid cycle where every 2 years you would be able to accomplish a lot, and then you would be really destructive for the next 2 years. That was my life up until I was 40. And so in the last 5 years in my sobriety, I've been traveling around the country with these conscious music festivals, and I've been counseling and mentoring many, many, many women. And I have also opened up my house in Santa Fe, New Mexico, to the traveling squad of people that needed to get off the streets. As right now, I have somebody with me that I've known for a long time. My business is Crystal Nation. I started it when I went to the 3 Days of Light gathering. I've been rock hounding since I was 7 years old. And it's just something that I always loved. I love stones. I love rocks. And it wasn't until 2013 when I went to the 3 Days of Light gathering that I saw that I had the ability to actually really counsel and crystal grid and work with crystals. And it really made sense because all these children or younger generations are quote unquote indigos / crystal kids. And so God told me that I was to open up a business, not necessarily for me, but to have a platform for many others around the country that were interested in the same thing that I was, and that I would use that as a platform to literally get us all off the streets, increase our life by having a better education and resources that we can tap into, teaching others how to love themselves and get connected. This year, what really brought my attention to the women, the Divine Feminine Rising, is the Women's March that happened right after the inauguration with Donald Trump. And Spirit gave me like a whole download of how we as visionaries around the United States and around the globe can connect in with the Women's March in Washington, D.C. and New York. So I actually wrote to them about a month ago, hey, I'm a visionary and I'm connected to many other visionaries around the United States. I think that we should join forces. One of the women actually did write me back about a month ago, and I haven't been able to take it and go further, but I just wanted to share this idea with you guys because what I see is an ability for us to join. Here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, only 60,000 people live here. 10,000 people showed up to that woman's march. 300, I think 300 million women showed up around the world for this woman's march. Last night, I watched the Leo King's astrology report after we had our phone call, and he really talks about the divine feminine right now. And he talks about like where the astrology is and how right now the divine feminine's not in a very good place. She's kind of caught between Quasimodo and like the beast. And her voice is kind of being silenced right now. And it's going to be really a beautiful challenge, I say, to use our voice, all women, and to speak about the things that might have been out of balance despite a popularity contest. I am one of those women who have traveled across the state lines in the last 5 years, and I saw many things out of balance, and some of these people were really powerful and leaders and really well liked. And I found that when I spoke my truth, I made a ruffle in the whole ocean. And in the beginning, I don't think anybody understood what I was doing because I wasn't doing the norm. And I wasn't quite cutting off people's heads, but I definitely have a sense of power within me. And I started to wake up many other women who were like, wow, what you're doing is what we need to do. And it might not be likable. And you really inspire me. So one of my missions in life is to continue to inspire many women around the country and around the globe. I've been told by many, many leaders to definitely take up empowerment. So that's why I'm in school right now, learning to become a Sufi master through Qigong, yoga. It's a social justice program where we learn Qigong, yoga, warrior yoga, Kung Fu, and 2 different forms of meditation. And this program is like based underneath social justice and non-resistance. So it's learning how to become a peaceful warrior. In Los Angeles County, they have an actual group called Ovarian Cyclists. It's a women's group. And I'm just putting this out there because Richard is in the area of them. And they're basically an organization that I feel could also use our help. These women were coming off the streets from trauma in East LA, and they're all indigenous women, so it's the Latina community. And they're still kind of wounded trying to empower other women, and they're having a hard time. They're being overwhelmed, not empowered. So I just wanted to bring that up because there's a lot of organizations around the United States that are like that, like the Women's March and many of what we're all doing. And I guess just bringing it up is just bringing awareness to these different groups where a lot of the beautiful men that I know, like yourselves, Doran and Richard, and the many other visionary men that we're working with, I told my friend Naturel, it's going to be you guys. I just wanted to share this with you. I've had some difficulty in some groups using my voice, and I don't know, it was based on a whole bunch of stuff, but I started to see that if men definitely speak up for us when we're speaking up, it's like standing behind us and really showing the world that we do have a voice and that they support us. And I've mentioned this to many of my guy friends, and now I have a lot of male support. So if I'm traveling around the country and something goes on and I really need that support or that voice, I've learned that I can get it just by speaking up and asking. So I'm here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Crystal Nation is going to be getting 2 houses on 7 acres of land right outside of Ojo Caliente, which is the 5 sacred waters. And I would hope to add on buildings on that property to create a safe place for women. That we have a big drug problem here in New Mexico, and we have a big poverty problem. A lot of education and resources does not get to the norm. We live in a state where the indigenous people rule. You know, there's Native American, Spanish, and Mexican, and we have statistics that we are the highest in alcohol. We are the lowest paid state. We have the lowest form of education. The least amount of people could read in this state. The highest rate of domestic abuse, alcohol, heroin, DWIs, you name it. And a lot of the people that live out here get diagnosed with mental illness, and they take prescription drugs. And a lot of the Native Americans are using oxygen tanks and are in casinos, and they're smoking cigarettes, and they're caught up in this really vicious cycle. And 5 years ago, I was asked by a lot of Native Americans that are presidents of their tribal councils to bring what I know to the reservations. In the last couple of years, I've been sharing this information with all the visionaries around the country that we're invited now. Last year, when I put together Unify Festival in Santa Fe, New Mexico, we were basically gathering all the tribes. There's 21 northern New Mexico pueblos, and we were able to get some interest, and we had enough natives, I believe, at Unify that represented their culture. We opened up with the Tiwa Eagle Dance, which was the northern Pueblo natives from here. We had the indigenous grandmother, Flora de Mayo, that was present at Unify Fest. And we had a lot of others that came from, you know, the Amazon to Canada. And what my interest in is basically forming alliances with other visionaries that are interested in bringing a program where we get to present empowerment. And it's not just for women, because we're realizing today that yes, the women need to rise and we need to be a voice and we need to like stand up for our rights and whatnot. But it's in the women healing that we actually bring the men to rise up as well. And so I really believe that it's not, I hope in this divine feminine rising that we're doing it with our men and that it's not separate. So it's like the women are rising and the men are right there. It's like no separation between the genders or LBT or transgender. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we as a human race propel forward. And so I think that's a lot of information. And yeah, I'll just put it at that. If you guys had any questions, you can ask me. But that's my mission right there, Crystal Nation, and traveling around the country, doing empowerment, being certified in this master's program so that I can actually implement it into a curriculum that we're all working on around the United States, as I'm aware that there is one being worked on. So we're gathering all our resources as far as what works in creating a new curriculum, a new education, social emotional education, empowerment, so that we can rise so that those young races that are just being born now have a beautiful place to implement their blueprints for the new earth. And thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we should each, you guys briefly introduce yourself and what she said, what really calls to you, and then each of you do your full introduction while we have her here. I know from the top of my head, I'm hearing what I've heard is, well, first, one thing is Richard talked about getting a crystals business going. So that's a connection right there where you can maybe get him some crystals and he can start pushing it, doing the thing. And then another thing is Misty, what she's doing with her center up in Washington State with disabled veterans and domestic violence victims, looking to be a center. She's already doing a lot of this, and she could use some support from you. Your motivation, how you're showing up in the world, like both of them. Like I'm seeing these connections. When you come out here, you're going to be able to meet up with these individuals and collaborate and interweave projects together. And like what you're looking to do in New Mexico, she's already got a house in Washington State. And we were talking about doing a reality show in her house and doing these really good causes like this, and just a little support for her from you would be like huge. If you're out in California,
Absolutely.
Go up to Washington State, help her ground in her blueprints a little bit, things like that. And yeah, just what do you guys think? What excites you about what Yahira shared?
They might not be there.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Wow. I know Duran saw the connections because he knows what I want to do and what I'm doing. And I thought, man, I can go down to you. Maybe if not here in Washington, I'll come down to Albuquerque or New Mexico. Sorry. Something like that. But I'm seeing a partnership here. I'm loving it. Loving it.
I feel a great connection to you. I was thinking about it. I had to ground out after I got off the phone. Remember, we just talked for 2 seconds. I literally needed to take the feeling and to ground it even more. There's something that will happen at Portal, and I'm so glad that I'm actually going, because there was a minute that I didn't know if I had to go, and I'm glad that Doran and I had a conversation, which led me to like jump back on these phone calls. But yes, I am a link. I know that, as far as this is concerned, and I would love to assist you, because that sounds really wonderful.
It sounds great. And it just funny, after our meeting last night, I talked to a friend of mine, and I realized he has a 9-seater van, and I asked him if he'd be willing to use it to take, if he'd be interested in going to this festival, and he actually is interested. So I'm kind of talking to all my friends and seeing if we can fill up that van and come down.
Yeah, I'm gonna wish for you to be there. I'm a manifestor generator. So.
Oh my gosh, it's so time. I've been trying to get down, just back to Southern California for over 2 years, and I'm excited. It was perfect.
It's important. I think it's a vortex, isn't it, Doran? Joshua Tree, you've been there.
So many vortexes around here. Yes, definitely.
Can't wait.
Also, this like super promotion marketing machine I've been building, I realized that next Thursday when we do the festival online live stream to the world, I can launch fully this promotional marketing machine and showcase it by basically making it possible for anybody to get Portal to the New Earth tickets live on this global live stream. Like, we'll just launch this promotion lottery system, and it'll just be like, like you can get tickets for low amounts in a lottery, and yeah, I'll explain it further, but like I want to keep it on topic right now. But that's another thing. Like, all right, you can say, put in $5, $10, $20 into this lottery, you might win a ticket, like live on live on the festival online the next 2 Thursdays or whatnot. And to bring all our light workers into one space to be on that show together and chat and on the camera to really create that critical mass, and then launch this promotional system. That'll be just huge.
I suggest, if you can, kind of get that together. They mentioned that they're doing that. They're going to be on coast to coast. So remember yesterday. So if you can kind of get that together for them and you have it ready to go, and then they can launch it there. Radio reaches more people than any media. So any media.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that. I was just asked last night, somebody that actually is an addict, I can't even believe this, sent me a message at like 6 in the morning that gave me 2 links to how I can get on the radio here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And he must have had a vision or something, but he gave me the links and everything. And he said it was time for me to get on the radio, and then just got off the computer, and that was it. And I was like, wow.
That's so funny that you say that, because I was talking to my friend last week about just stuff, and I didn't even mention radio, and he points at something he has in his living room. He says, I don't know what it's called. It looks like a big synthesizer. He says, you can use that to do your broadcasting, and you can connect to a radio station through that. I was like, what? He said, you can broadcast from that. So I don't know what that is. Maybe you guys know. And then he was saying he has cameras. All he needs is a stand. We could do video broadcast too, video stuff. So that's really funny. I think there's going to be maybe another, like with this whole project, like Doran explained very well with what I want to do. I could totally see us broadcasting from Washington. From this huge center. And I wanted to mention about you know, as you were sharing what you have been doing and what you've observed and all your experiences, that this is the time, like the feminine energies, we need upliftment and support, and the masculine, you know, they're coming and showing up for us. And I've experienced exactly the same thing that you said, you know, where you just knew if you needed something, it was going to be there. And I don't know about you, but I'm single, and I plan on staying that way. And in the Bible, just to mention, it says, God says, I will be your husband. And and I fully understand that, you know, and it doesn't mean anything else other than that, because this is a, you know, I'm so excited about how we're coming together. And there's the people who can, I think there's a tremendous support there and understanding between veterans and domestic violence victims. There's a lot of help out there for female, women, and children domestic violence victims, but there are men too. And there's help there too. But I think that we can really help each other because we really understand each other and what we've, you know, each have been through. Same with, you know, with dependency issues and stuff, it's all related. And I'm connected too with another big group in this area. They have clean and sober houses. And that's another piece of my, you know, I wanted to connect, you know, with the project.
If you get down to Portal, the guy that I'm coming with, Raphael Weissman, who actually is with the Heart Thread and the Medicine Water Wheels, you know, he's 70 years old, and he started his own nonprofit organization called Healing the Scars. Basically, I was going to umbrella and take all of his blueprints that he's had for years and years and years that he can't implement. One of the main programs is based on veteran work. And we've already taken the Heart Thread to the veterans. My whole family was in the Army, and most of them suffered from all of the after effects of being in the service. So I actually had an interest myself on, in fact, when I go to the conscious festivals, you'd be surprised. I'm the one that finds all the people that were in the Army and in the service that actually, you know, served in a way that they murdered other people. And so there was really something out there when I was traveling the conscious festivals as far as what can we do for these veterans who didn't understand what they were signing up for, acted out what they did, or went through such horrible stuff. And when they get released, you know, some of them had fallen into addiction. So the guy that I'm bringing is somebody that you could really sit down with, and he has this nonprofit organization that's up and running. He's a minister. I believe that a lot of the visionaries that are coming to the portal to the new earth are going to be able to look at a lot of what we created, because nobody's doing anything alone. That's for sure. And that we need to like hub up over here. I got that mission statement, like that vision in 2013. I was traveling around the conscious festivals like a crazy woman, telling everybody, we have to double up. But if you could get down there, I have a feeling some real magic can actually create by our time being spent on the land together, and including all the other people that will be surrounding us. I have a really, and then Doran, I wanted to just let you know, last year when I was like street team, and it was the first time I was part of like such a huge core team of Unify, but one of the things that I did learn how to do was partner in with all of the directors. So I made a partnership. I kept telling Nathan, some of my friends run these festivals, right? So I was telling him that we can swap tickets, or I even had a greater idea this year, and I just wanted to share that with you for maybe next year, but we can actually pose that we give them a couple of tickets, they give us, maybe even exchange a vending booth space for resources, but to have somebody who is part of the portal team to make the phone calls to all the directors. But we are making a deck, aren't we, for the street team that we're bringing together around the United States, a dream team, street team. I feel like that's part of it. But for now, if you wanted to just call some of those directors and just because you could really get those tickets sold like in a second if like 6 great directors were called right now and there was an exchange of tickets. And I mean, it's that easy.
Yeah.
It really is. And so tribal vision. So wherever that street team is traveling around to the country, we're going to Minnesota, Lovolution. You know, Patrick Hennessy just wrote me yesterday, Nathan Crane, Scott Love, Wendy Owens. Those are 4 directors of 4 teams. I can call them today and ask them for this. And then anybody who's on this phone call, or maybe that's directly linked to you guys, if you know directors of festivals, like somebody mentioned Lucidity yesterday, that would be a really great way. And I wanted to ask you also, I'm going to make a video today. And is it proper to say that we're calling all visionaries to come to collaborate? I'll share all the information that you shared with me, but I'm going to be putting a call out, like the trumpets are being called, 144, and this is it, because that's who I am. And they've been waiting for me to put a video out, and I can't wait any longer. Today's a really great day for me. Jupiter is in my sign, Libra, and this is all about expansion. I am a manifestor generator. I am responding to dozens of phone calls all year, and I've been, I guess, not ready. I don't want to say insecure. I wasn't ready, and it wasn't time to put the video out because I wasn't aware on such a deep level as I am today of what's going on. Like, how can I put out information half-assed? But I got the complete download of what this is. And what this is we are going to be activated to the next level. We need to do it. We need to come together because of who we are. Every time when we come together and I'm on the conscious grounds of these festivals, my body goes through tremendous activations. Kundalini, rise, and body trembles. More than anything, I cry because I'm with my soul tribe. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry right now. Like, I seriously know that when we're together, we just get like a total upgrade. And it makes me like really just teary-eyed and cry right now because I've had dreams of Portal. And as a visionary, it kind of blew me away. I had a dream about 2 months or 3 months ago when I thought many of us visionaries who were fighting and got mad at each other because missed opportunities or egos, or we were in our shadow and couldn't confront it, myself included. I went through a big deal through Unify Festival where I didn't feel like I was recognized. I felt really used, and it was just like hardcore, but Spirit told me just to stick in there and not to judge anybody, not to yell at anybody, and to take it, because what am I here for? What was my purpose? What was my mission? What's my intention? And it got down to like warrior power, like, roar, I'm going to show up and give it the best I got. And what happened was we all did that. And even though we all went through this like dark night of the soul, not just the core team, but all kinds of people that were coming in from around the country, and it made us rise to our better higher self. And that's why I know that the portal to the new earth is going to be one of the festivals that kickstarts our year, where we actually get to enjoy being together and collaborating. I believe most of us have went through that dark night of the soul in our awakening. And I believe that we're now arrived at the next level where we're getting to choose what we love, to collaborate with those we can work with, that we choose to work with. It's all about that. And I want to put this out in a video, and I wanted to ask if you guys felt that was appropriate.
Yes, all of it.
Sweet.
Definitely. Love it.
Yes, the whole perfect timing.
And with the directors, I think you could talk to Harlan, but I think it'd be great if you could get a couple tickets to every director team of every festival, and some sort of whether it's a booth for booth exchange or whatever he's willing to do. If every director of every festival had a couple tickets, they all come to this event, they showcase what they're doing with their festivals or what projects or whatnot, and then Harlan can then go to all these other festivals every year and promote what Portal to the New Earth is, and 2 times a year event, and what he's doing. So yeah, I think that's beautiful. And they can then share it to their whole networks, their email list. Part of that is they're going to share it to their whole email list or their social media platforms. So
Yeah.
that all of a sudden it's done, you know, it's that easy.
Nathan Crane has like 90,000 people on his email list. I'm making a phone call as soon as we get off this phone call, and I'm actually going to beg him to take a drive with me. Like something happened. Like I feel it real deeply, where I'm going to ask Naturel. Actually, I'm going to have one. I pray that he says yes, because this would be really, really powerful if he came with us. Because he, you know, he's just about 30 years old, and he's been an adult like most of his life after he got sober at 18. And the first festival I ever saw him go to that he really dropped down into like what we do, like, you know, just being, was like Sistersland in Loveland. And now I can actually convince him, after speaking to you guys a few times, that, you know, because he really is not about alcohol or drugs. You know, he's very high vibey, like, you know, like just got out of that whole kind of thing. And I need to like let him know that that's not what the portal is, and that he could be really relaxed. I think he's a visionary and he has vision. So I don't think he's really tapped into it, but I'm going to call him today, and I'm going to ask him if he can actually share some of his email list with some of my organizations that I'm working with, like the Source Network, like ASC. I'm actually interested in. Is that what you guys are interested in swapping email lists?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, he's got a big one. And cool.
You know, I can get him in touch with Deborah Giusti. She's got this 90,000 person festival email list as well. And just to like bring them together and say, hey, like you guys should do an exchange. And now they're at 150,000 each or whatever.
Who is that?
Deborah Giusti. Spelled Debragiusti. She's the Harmony festivals, like the beginning of the big, you know, 1980s festival movement out here in the West Coast. It was Harmony Festival, so she birthed the whole movement. So she's got this huge list, and she's going live with Harmony Festivals again, I think, this year. So.
Yeah, you know, Nathan Crane is from California, from the north to the south. So homie has to know what's up. He needs to represent.
Well, what we're doing here is we're uniting every festival producing crew. Basically what we're doing is, for one thing, everybody shows up to the portal. It's the New Earth. All the festival producers just come. And then we're going to travel up the coast with the Infinite Love and Motion Tour, the 50th anniversary of the Summer of Love. So we'll go up the coast, we'll hit all the events all the way up the coast, and then across the country, a group will go across the country and hit every event across the country and back, and then we'll converge again up in the north, I think at the Oregon Eclipse. So it's perfect, it's beautiful. You don't have to ever go back to any unconscious areas. You could just tour the rest of your life. You could go to festivals, villages. You really don't have to return. And I'm going to set up a transport system. I'm going to go ahead and pop up a Craigslist rideshare from every major city across the country straight over to Portal. I'll set up the system and with a Google form and database so that they can easily match up and just rideshare and set up rides. And I've been doing this for a couple of years for, you know, festivals. So this is easy stuff to just implement. So
awesome.
This is awesome. It's like an intentional community anywhere you want to go, and support and like-minded connections with people anywhere that you want to go. This is just perfect.
I love it because I don't want to go home after I leave here. I've been in a situation for 5 years, and I love what Richard said earlier to me, because I'm going to do that. You can't end anything unless you end it beautifully. It must mean it must come consciously with all the greatest intentions and hearts and words, and I'm gonna do that. But my intention is I get the tower card every time I throw out my own tower, and I've been getting messages. Hopefully
you bring all the crystals and all that you are and do, and what we'll do is we'll everybody at Portal will buy those crystals off of you, and so you make a little bit of money off of that, and then they become your distributors. So wherever they go, they're distributing the crystals, and they can make money too, and grow their business. And then when you turn around and go back to New Mexico, you have enough money to put down a down payment on those properties, and that's done.
Yeah, actually, and also Richard, since you're in the area, I have this feeling I'm going to be rock hounding all in that area. I'm already looking at mine. So by the way, P.S. to the visionaries out there that wish to go rock hounding with me in that area, maybe from festival to festival, building medicine water wheels or crystal grids. I'm open
Totally.
to people, you know, like,
Totally.
yay.
Yay!
Nice, perfect. Yeah, I'm always open.
You
Cool.
know, this is so great because I've been putting out there praying for a female partner, you know, where we could go. And because I know, like, I don't know about you, but like, I'm fine by myself. I interact okay, you know, with people and stuff. But I keep thinking, man, if I had just somebody else with me and we were out doing this stuff together, reaching people together, we could just be, you know, it would just be so much better.
Yes.
And I don't, I'm so glad that you're on these calls, dear.
Thank you. It was intimidating at first. Y'all intimidated the hell out of me. Scared me, but it was cute. You ever get so scared that you know it's the best thing for you? And then you're like, I'm like a little kid and I breathe heavy and I'm like, okay, now what? And then Spirit says, transmute, cleanse, detox, breathe, meditate, walk, sun gaze, move your body, dance, cry, then get back in there.
Exactly. And with these energies, you know, like you were sharing earlier just about how the energies are impacting you and you're sleeping a lot right now. And so, you know, I wanted to chime in that, oh my gosh, you know, that's of course the energies, you know, and every woman I know is saying the exact same thing, and men too. So, you know, it's what's going on right now. Anyway, that's all.
Perfect.
Also, our brother Michael, he's like an Archangel Michael embodiment channel. He is like, he's like the crystals guy in a huge way. And he travels across the country, around the world, and is just guided to like receive crystals and then flow them. And he makes a lot of money just by just being guided. Sometimes, you know, it's amazing to see someone that's so surrendered to spirit, and he literally would leave like a crystal, like huge, right in the middle of a medicine wheel at a festival, at a conference, and walk away because he was guided to put it there. And it, you know, like the beauty of it, like it's just like,
That's huge.
so like Michael, like he was in Tucson, Arizona recently, and he said that's the interchange for all crystals and gemstone sales, maybe in this country, maybe in the world, maybe the center of it all. So he's already doing what you're doing. So for you two, I would like to connect you two so that you can further your missions together.
Well, he's part of it. What's his last name? Can you type it in?
Oh, Michael. He's on Facebook. I think like under Michael, under my friends list. But he's like got some big blueprints too for a big piece of it. It's for the disabled. It's for the disabled and the challenged or whatnot. It's basically two communities on the 33-degree parallel ley lines or whatnot, and one is in Eden, Arizona, I believe, and the other is in Hawaii, in the Uncle Robert's land or whatnot, micronation there, sovereign nation. And it's essentially a community, two communities that party all year round. Music is the focus, so it's musicians, a lot of musicians that live at these two communities on these 33 parallels in these two communities, and they just party all year round, and they do like festivals on the equinoxes and the solstices, so alternating equinox solstices, and it's forget how many, $222 million is the blueprint that we're going to receive for this project to form these communities and to support the lesser abled. And there's much more to his blueprints, but he's just a divine Archangel Michael walking the earth plane guided individual that has a lot of energetic support, and he's not going to do the work, but he's ready for the teams to show up around him and do the roles to bring it all together and receive the funds and so on and so forth.
Whoa. That's, yeah, I'm top, you know, I only have so much knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Some aspects of this and that on crystals, and I just am guided like that, but I'm getting like the whole download on like what he knows, just 20 times more than I know. But this is what I mean. It's like all of us coming together and sharing. Whew, this guy's amazing, whoever he is. I have a feeling I have some of the people that are supposed to meet him as well, because I've been collecting them through Crystal Nation. So people who, so we're basically going to be working with crystal sound, right, and water. It's our new technology system for medical care. You know, people are not, we're not going to be dying of diseases anymore. And this is what's happening, is that we're utilizing the elements of the earth, which is why I'm in Qigong school, because I'm learning about the elements. It's very, and about energy and about breath and all of that. It's all kind of tied in. But there are some people that have blueprints like this guy about how to build certain technologies that are, the fact that he wants to assist people who are disadvantaged is huge. That's one of the most biggest populations of people that are just being ignored or denied. And as far as Donald Trump is concerned, to share this all with you, the Leo King has an actual astrology report that came out through Astrology Hub, where Amanda's interviewing him. You guys go ahead and watch it because it's very important. The Leo King is point on. He's kind of like me, but he's from San Diego. I had a vision after we all got off the phone. Listen to me, guys. He wants people to come onto his actual show and assist him to host. And I have a feeling that Nathan Crane wasn't the only person I was reaching out to today, but I'm reaching out to the Leo King. I'm going to ask him if he can come to the portal to the new earth. And I don't know what I need to do to like make this happen, but he wants to be one of the visionaries that leads us into the new earth without fear. So one of the messages he shared might blow you away, but here it is. Donald Trump has a chart where he's a Leo, like sun sign, and Mars is in his like favor in the time of this eclipse. Eclipses are really, really powerful because they basically are a portal. So August 21st, when we're at that portal, here's what he actually predicted for many of us visionaries and leaders. That includes all of you that are on the phone. And here's what he said. He said, it's going to be a time where either people are going to hit a wall and people are not going to be liked for what they do or say. We're being asked to be sovereign, but we're all supposed to be working together. And there might be like a lot of these power struggles, but that Donald Trump actually had an opportunity to choose to do something that many people might not agree with, but that he actually had an opportunity to take us to the next level, and that he can actually be healed and open his heart. And I just, you know, guys, I told you I met him when I was 16. I actually handed him something and flew in a helicopter. I was in rehab. His brother was, his brother's now dead, but back then he was alive and struggling with alcoholism. And so I guess Donald Trump wanted to donate to a rehab. So that's what I share all to all of my visionary friends, because I was an indigo kid in his audience, listening to him talk about his brother, and I was crying because I felt him relate to all of us. And then I got to present a present to him. I touched him. And something told me when he got inaugurated that don't worry, something great was going to happen. So I just wanted to let you know this eclipse that's coming up. If you guys want to listen to the Leo King and about his predictions, I feel like I need to call him to ask him to come to the portal to the new earth. And if we could broadcast from there, because he has all the equipment and everything. And I've already reached out to him. Spirit led me to reach out to this superstar this year. I've already started to, you know, and so just say a prayer for me, because I'm going to be sending out some pretty cool messages today.
Here, let's take it one step further. With all the stuff that I've been going around, I've been meeting a lot of people, and he was one of the individuals that I ran into 2 years ago. up. So I know he's
you
in flow.
you cut out. You cut out.
Oh, sorry.
I heard you say that you met him and.
Yeah.
Okay, I met him at the LA Convention Center when they had the Conscious Awakening in downtown LA.
Whoa. Then you're it, buddy.
So hold on one second.
I've had a lot of ideas and stuff that we're all somehow gonna be working maybe with him in a capacity because I see spirit in him, and
Yeah.
when he was elected, I was shocked, but I wasn't paying attention too much to what was going on. I watched the debates and this and that, and I observed everything, and I thought, oh gosh, it was so interesting and entertaining. And and then when he was elected, I was shocked, and then I started listening, and I watched his speech. I just started watching him and really realizing that he's guided. He's doing it's people's judgments and perceptions and the negative information that's thrown out there that's intentional. It's intentional to create bias and judgment in people. And you know what? All I know is that man has the most important job in the world right now, and we don't know everything that's going on and why he's making the decisions he is, and he can't tell us. Obviously, he could never. So that's just kind of where I'm at. I mean, I see this. I see, and I don't care what's happened to anybody in the past. We all have our past. But Christ energies have been coming in here strong, source energies for the last several years. We're all waking up. So I believe him too. And when you said he can be healed, I say he has been healed.
He is healed, yeah.
So I'm not supposed to, it's not good to talk about politics and all that stuff, but no matter who our president is, I'm praying for him or her or whoever, that they're being guided, by spirit, which they are. I know that they are. I know all this, everything's happening for a reason, and we don't have anything to fear. If we fear the future, then we're going to create a negative reality for ourselves. That's all. And so all I want to do is spread positive vibes, energies, work on myself, and keep going to where I'm being guided. And the fact that all this is coming together right now is just blowing me away, honestly.
My apologies for the interruption earlier. But yeah, I have worked with the Leo King. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've done energy work on him. I was guided back in the day, a couple years ago, to go up to him and do some energy work. I have his phone number. I could give you his phone number direct. I can't tell you that he answers because I've been guided to give him a call a couple times.
Okay.
And he hasn't returned the call. So you could try the same thing. But I know he's very open now.
But you're the better one. You know why? First of all, he's the Leo King. You're a man. You're older. You're straight the fuck up, okay? You worked on him. You live in California. I had the idea, but it's not supposed to be executed by me. It could be. I have a feeling it's you, brother, because you have a relation with him. So, does that resonate with you? Would you be willing to do that? Invite him?
It's funny because I had just tried to get in touch with them, but not even a week ago. So. It's probably the process. I just know I need to talk to him too. So,
okay, how about
maybe
this?
Send him this video when it's done, and then see if he responds.
Oh yeah, I could do that too.
That sounds like an amazing idea. That's it. And if you can't get in touch with him, and you need a second try here, yeah. But we'll put an intention and a prayer in there that you have what it takes, and we'll just call in his higher self to a higher call-in right now and ask the angels like Archangel Uriel to open up the pathway between us and the Leo King for the higher good of all. We're asking Great Spirit and the Divine Mother, Mary, and the Christ consciousness to enter into him, because he's such a beautiful person. And I know that he would love to be a part of this, but just asking his higher self to connect with our energies right now and allow, even though beautiful Mercury is in retro, we love you, Mercury, that things can work our way, and sending it out with a really beautiful intention coming from all of us. Hope that he receives it in that way. It's about manifesting and generating to a higher degree for the greater good of all. Aho.
Yes, aho. Thank you.
Yes, I.
And that being said, another thing I wanted to share on was what you were talking about earlier. When these conference calls, women empowerment, it's very important to have the males present. Because when we talk about women empowerment, it's not just about women empowerment. It's about the goddess empowerment. And the goddess empowerment, it's within each one of us, men and women. Now, yes, of course, we're here to
Perfect
support the
timing.
women.
I'm
because
here.
we're
You called me in.
here to raise the
Hi,
not a lot of
Valerie.
men are gonna be ready to.
Real quick. Valerie, how much time do you have to be with us on this call?
Like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay. Richard's sharing something right now, and then after that, if you could introduce yourself, what you're
Hi,
doing.
Richard.
Hello, sister.
Okay.
Go ahead, Richard.
I don't know. I'm lost now, so I'm blank.
Okay.
So go.
That was perfect timing. You're talking about goddess energies, and then Valerie comes in. She's like, "Oh, I'm here!"
Popped up. Hi, Valerie.
I love it. That was so perfect.
You called?
Yes.
You called, and here I am.
Yes.
Please finish.
Well, the thing is, I went blank, so I have to allow to come back in.
Valerie's here. Can we put you on the spot right now to share who you are and what you're doing?
Valerie?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Do you want to go? You probably know what you want to share.
Yes. Some of it will be in light language. Is that okay?
Please do so. It's Francine DeGiorgio, Valerie. Hi.
Hi, Francine.
Yahira, but I love you.
Oh, thank you, honey. I love you too. Chahatande sakatoche chale sahal sinjale sanorotoko. Chambesh norchan jalti ahsale shandahatokela. Jeto hachanta ahato kasanda. La lahotokola la nosha kasandai. Chant ahat chale sa lahotokoshanda. As chant okochalish nahate shanahata. So from my heart to all of you, thank you for being here. We are at such a precipice for all of humanity. And so I, along with many others, working on behalf of the Mother of the Divine Feminine, are here to join in some of the existing processes that are already in place. So thank you both for opening this forum, as many are seeking such a refuge from the current reality. And so we are building more of the bridge, of course, to the new realities for this planet. And so as a representative of the earth plane as well as inner earth plane, it's a really important time to join forces, I guess is the best word. Yeah. That's what wanted to come through.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being
Yes,
here.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Honor and a blessing.
Thank you.
Love the light language. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Mom.
yes. Powerful. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, I grabbed my goddess that's carved out of a crystal from Peru.
Oh, lovely.
As soon as you got in my hand, grabbed across the room, and it was in my hand and on my heart, the light language began. It's a very galactic thing with inlaid with stone in the eyes. And
Oh,
then
beautiful.
the solar plexus has like a chakra that's inlaid in crystal.
Oh,
So,
beautiful.
you activated something through her, through your light language. Thank you.
Oh, great. I'm glad. Thank you.
Yeah, so much has been, this has been an amazing call. You'll have to check out the call here, upload it. But we've talked about everything from Yahira introduced herself and all that she's doing, which is so much. And we're talking about crystals, and we're talking about the disabled veterans and the domestic abuse and how we're helping them with missions and Portal to the New Earth. Coming up May 5th to 8th in Joshua Tree, and then the Village Immersion May 8th to 12th, and how that's a rallying call for all light workers that are guided to be there to come together and form a core group and collaborate on the highest level. And then traveling from there up the coast, there's this Infinite Love in Motion. We're doing a Summer of Love 50th anniversary tour up the coast, and then across the country and back, and then we're all converging at Oregon Eclipse up at the top there. And we're just talking about bringing like Leo King and all these different like big name people that have big networks, bringing all the networks together and contact.
Yeah, I'm feeling a convergence. The tribes are converging. I'm definitely feeling it.
All the festival producers, contacting them and doing an exchange, ticket exchange, so that every festival producer can come to Portal, and then Portal can show up at all the other festivals. And
yeah,
next Thursday, we're going to do a festival online. I'm going to live stream it through the source here.
Okay, cool.
And we're just going to invite everybody from the Portal, like the musicians, the presenters, the facilitators, to all come showcase. And then invite all light workers to tune in and to come showcase if there's anything they want to bring through. And I've got this like marketing promotion lottery system ready to go. So I'm looking to make it really affordable for anybody to get to Portal. I'm looking to build a ride share system, Craigslist ride share system, where anybody can come right into the Portal. Just make it available to everybody.
Valerie, will you be at the Portal to the New Earth?
I don't know. I have it on my schedule, 5th through the 8th.
Yeah, it would be really awesome to have you there because, and also if you could be a part of that phone call and part of the opening, Doran, I'm feeling that her light language and just like her presence and her voice in the opening, she really represents a lot of, we know who you are and that kind of thing, you know, and it would be an honor really to have you just sink in with us as a visionary and part of that phone call. And if you can't be at Portal, I understand deeply, but it would be lovely to see if, I know you have a strong voice. I know you have a large following, and I know that people will listen to what you have to say. And so if you could assist us in promoting Portal to the New Earth, maybe a few times here, you know, Harlan didn't sell all of his tickets in, you know, for the Joshua Tree area. And I figured we just needed to contact a couple of really good people in the Los Angeles area. And you are one of the people that were on my mind about that.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I'll tune in to that weekend. I'm also prepping for a very large trip to Egypt to do some queen work in the Valley of the Kings. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, it is.
Right.
It's open to a few more people. It's a very small group of us going in over summer solstice. It's already started. I've been weaving since Christmas over there. So, yeah, that's a powerful space.
Yeah.
Right?
Even if it was just a day, I'll take it. And even if it was just a half a day, we'll take it.
Satanchi ke sam daldo khutulan se yatuke shashahatal as jonda na hataki ma rutuki la hate tanse katol asake shatal ma rutuku tanda asal rutukala shani ma kutor shansake shata asal.
Fuck.
My eyes are teary. Thank you.
Mine too.
Ah. Hmm. Bringing the codes of creation back to this planet, and this is some of the sequencing that's happening right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. And really, it's us tuning into this field of awareness, because the energy is available for everyone. And so, through what you guys are doing and opening to these higher energies, it's really just a tuning in to what's available for all of us. And so as we move off the one-to-one model, which you're really bringing through so beautifully with the tribe model, where together the collective really is able to embed these new frequencies. And the grid is fully active now, and so just to be in the field, to reverberate amongst each other, that's how things change in an instant. And so that's what's happening. And so I'd be happy to lend my frequency to those types of projects where, we're in a massive a field of awareness. And so I have been asked to do that more, to step out.
Yeah.
Here you are. Here we are.
Bring it on.
Like, Valerie, get out of the way. I've had to kind of move myself out of the way.
That's right.
Stop it. Yeah. Okay.
Ashton.
And thank you
Yeah,
for showing up.
We were off, I don't know, everybody's story has been like this of like, holding back for whatever reason. I'm scared, I'm not ready, there's karma, whatever. But truly all it is, it's just like divine holding us back. And now it's like, okay, go.
It's like the ego, right? The ego mind saying, oh, I can't. It's whatever story we want to tell ourselves, of course. Now, so. And all it takes is people stepping out like Doran saying, okay, it's here, we're going, let's go. Doran, thank you. You've been really holding such a space.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
A huge space.
And yes. I'm involved also with a new paradigm group that Josh Passmore and Stephanie is involved. So I've been pulled into those conversations as well, and some of the community stuff. And I'm also part of this. We're working on a project for recording, especially women, to tell their story in a video series for the UN. So I'm involved in some of those projects. But I am saying yes to more, but larger community type projects, because I have a background in marketing. I've run a company before, and then I moved into the metaphysical space. And so for me, it's now merging all of those things together, and representing not only the galactic, but also the Earth and inner Earth plane, and what those messages are, because they're very much about unifying, period. So, bringing those into an awareness and speaking them in language, light language, or other. So it's beautiful because we're all remembering that we have access to all of these technologies. Than us, it's us. We're the technology. So.
That's right. Yes. Well, this is
so it is.
Global Women's Empowerment. So
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Global empowerment.
everything you're doing with that UN mission, we'd love to support that with this airtime. We're going to be live streaming this show every
Okay.
at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's we're going to work with the women, offer kind of coaching to help women who want to record, what they want to see. And something Stephanie has done is really articulated, we want a divine feminine branch of the government. We want to see the feminine. It's the energy, of course, not necessarily women, but it's time for us to step forward, all of us together, which I really feel we're doing, men and women together, because we understand it's not about our physical sex. It's about the energetics of renewal of the planet. And so that's where we're at. It's a code of renewal, which I have been working on for 5 years, is coding those codes here on Earth. So, everything's here, right? The platform is available for everyone to step into, from what you guys are doing and others. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
saying that, I haven't really been a big part of this. And like I said, it's about you women standing up and standing in your truth and speaking everything that you guys are feeling. That's one of the main reasons why I'm here. I have a lot of insights and a lot of things to share, but at the end of the day, it's about working together with your counterpart,
Yeah.
no matter what your counterpart is, and understanding that it's a reflection that we're dealing with. There is a lot of masculine energy out there, and a lot of women are carrying it. There's a lot of anger and frustration. And there's a reason why there's a lot of masculine energy coming into the planet right now, because it wants women to stand up. It wants women to stand up against the male. It's going to push a lot of women to stop taking, crap from the opposite sex or the opposite individual they're with, because it could be anybody. It could have that energy within them, even the same sex. And that being said, it's for us to learn to make decisions. And if we want to still continue to work in a partnership with unity with another individual, it's about learning to find that in between. Before, it was a mandatory, it has to be this way. It's got to be like this, or else I'm not going to be with you, or this or that. Well, that stuff is not going to be supported anymore. The universe has showed me, for every woman that stands up in her true power, the masculine energy is literally turned off. That other person across that individual will not be able to continue to do what they're doing.
So it's an alchemy.
Yes. So it's a matter of the female for them to stand up and understand that what's happening is for them to stand in their true power.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's up to the male, because every male that's with them, and when they stand up, it's up to the male to allow both of them to, release each other. So, for example, for me, it was a matter of letting her go so she could be the full power of who she is, so I could become the full power that I am. So when we learn to let go of each other, then we could step into our true power.
Yeah.
But as long as we're holding on to the opposite one, they're holding on to us. So as we learn to let go of all that stuff, then what happens is they let go of us. And it's been one of the things that I've been shown and been working through, is learning to find a balance in between that, because I've been shown throughout history that run away from your problems, you're done. And I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. And I understand why now, because the more I dealt with my problems, the only thing I was dealing with was issues that I was holding on myself.
Yeah.
And as I cleared that stuff out, my partner was just showing me those issues. And my anger and frustration, people don't realize that when a person is waking up and there's so much energy in that individual, when they're talking to their partner, no matter which sex it is, because of their work, their energy is 10 times greater than their partner's. So even though they're talking to them in a state of calmness, but agitated or frustrated or have anger, what happens is their partner still receives the information 10, 20 times stronger, and in their reality, they're feeling them being yelled at. When in reality, you're only talking to them, but because you have that agitation and that frustration, their perception, they receive that energy as being yelled at. So what happens is you don't realize, and they're like, suddenly you're starting to get yelled at, and you're like, I'm not yelling at anybody. Why am I still being yelled at? Well, you don't realize that you're agitated. And this is where I want to make sure that a lot of these women movement, it's about bringing us together, learning to work together, learning to understand our differences, learning to communicate, because the biggest differences within each other is communication. Now, I know and I understand there's been abuses out there and et cetera. Of course, every situation is different. We have to be aware of what we're emitting or what we're putting out there. There's no reason for anybody be getting abused or being, have hands on them for any reason. But at the same time, you got to be aware is are you putting your hands on anybody? Are you doing this thing? I mean, it could be as simple as hitting your child and you're not realizing, and your partner is hitting you or forcing issues. And we don't realize that a lot of the karma's effects right now, the universe is trying to get us to nip them in the butt. So by us realizing what we're doing will literally affect our transformation and help us move faster. I had a situation where my daughter walks into my house and she's all, crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, I had a customer that just came out here and just screamed me, yelled, and wouldn't stop yelling. And the more I tried to calm her down, and she kept yelling even more. So the message to me was right there and then, as she's crying on my kitchen table, I said, so what happened this morning? That was all that came out of my mouth. So what happened this morning? And she starts busting up. She just literally starts rolling. And she's like, and I'm like, why are you laughing now? I thought you were just crying. She goes, because I went off on my husband this morning.
So she got it back at her?
And she was being shown that quick. And what I'm trying to share this with a lot of women right now is not about pointing the finger at the man, that the man's abusive, the man's this, the man's that. It's about understanding that there's energies that we're emitting or things that we're afraid of. And the only purpose that male is beside you is to make you stronger, to make you stand up for yourself. If you get past the male in front of you, you could get past any obstacle in this world. That's why that person was put in front of you, not for you to run from it, not for you to hide. That person was put there. So once you get past those blocks, you're unstoppable.
Yeah,
and
macro.
Yes. And it's about working together. At the end of the day, it's working together, communicating, speaking all your truth. No matter if you feel that person's you're going to scare them away. Say you want to be with multiple people, tell them that. Because if that's what you feel and that's what you want, you don't know, that guy might accept it. But because you're afraid, you're like, no. We have to be able to express exactly what we feel and exactly what we want. You'd be amazed at what the universe is willing to hand to each individual. We're here to live our dreams. We're here to experience our dreams. We're here to learn how to create. We're here to actually not learn, remember how to create in this reality. We're here remembering and learning. Some of us are learning how to balance our frequencies, our energies from both sides of the spectrum, masculine and feminine, yin and yang, whichever way you want to call it. So we could become the best and creators, visionary creators that we are, because we are visionary creators. A lot of us are here. So trusting what you're feeling, trusting what you're being put through, and allowing whatever the outcome is for the greater good, knowing that outcome, no matter what that outcome was, there was something from there for you to learn, something for you to release so you could get past through it. And people don't realize these fears, these obstacles that get put in front of us. The only reason that obstacle got put in front of us, that only reason we ran into that roadblock or we crashed against that other person, is because you've asked for something. You've asked for that abundance. You've asked to be free. You asked to want to be able to do and be who you are. Well, because you've asked for that, these obstacles are being put in front of you so you could clear them out of the way, so you could become that who you are, that your true essence of your infinity self, your infinite self. So just trust that every situation that's being put in front of you, no matter what it is, it's for the greater good for you to reach that dream of yours,
Yeah,
so
that resonates big time. Thank you. That's huge. By the way, I am married, but I deal with other men visionaries. So this really resonates as far as that these partnerships are concerned with the divine masculine, the divine feminine. It's kind of like what I was saying earlier on the phone call about us really being able to see each other and get past the triggers, the shadow, being abused or not seen or not heard or taken advantage, whatever it is, and bringing everything that we feel as women. I've been shown very diplomatically. You use the I statement. We take personal responsibility for how we feel, and then we ask questions and engage in a conversation that is of two mature individuals to figure out how to move forward. And by me doing this, which has been very uncomfortable, might I say, to some very powerful leaders that are men, and asking, basically, I want to have a relationship with you, but this is how I feel, and I felt stuck or this, and I have my own issues. Can you assist me, dear brother, in the shift? And how can I assist you in the shift as well? And we've been doing these dances, and it's been really cool.
Nice. And yes, I'm here for you if you guys need on these women groups and get me involved. If you want me to be a part of it, just feel free to get in contact with me. I'll share my insights, or if you guys just want me to be present, I'll be that, It doesn't matter. I'm here to assist and be by your guys' side wherever I am called to be present.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Rich and Brother Dawn.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
And Sister Valerie.
Yeah.
And Sister Francine, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you.
I love you all.
Any
Oh.
closing statements from everybody? We can wrap up the show. Anything that you guys want to close out with?
Oh, there he is. I'd like to say something, and just that was so beautifully articulated, Richard. Thank you. If you look at the energies of the feminine and masculine, what we're merging towards is this, some call it androgynous. It just means that it's not about of the physicality, the attachment to our physical look, or, you're a male, I'm a female, we have different organs. We're moving into the space of, of oneness, of the unity is the energetic principles. We're all standing in a line looking forward rather than looking at each other. And I think that for me is like a visual representation of true sovereignty, as we are sovereign beings and able to operate independently of each other within a tribe setting, within a cooperative setting. And so we are moving out some major codependent and victim issues in the grid. So on a higher level, those kind of energies are really leaving. They're not serving us and are part of the emotional, framework for the planet. So very much, right on with what you're talking about, because that's really, it's the essence of who we are as, these multidimensional beings.
Yes.
I'll leave it at that.
Yes. And that's, that's funny. What, that's one of the things I'm very conscious of is working in the multi-dimensions. I see a lot of that stuff happening around me. So it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing to see all the beautiful people that are coming around and see the transformation. I mean, don't get me wrong. For a long time, it was very hard for me because of what I was going through. But just being able to come out now, and I've done energy work on individuals and see these energy shifts within the individuals. Because my goddess energy within me was mind-blowing strong. And to be able to share these frequencies with others, these codes, and see what happens to them. And it's just like, wow. And I was like, it's funny because the song that comes to me is the Bob Marley song is How Can You Be Loved If You're Loved? That's the way I hear the music. How can you be loved if you're loved?
You are loved.
Like, if you're loved, how do you feel love? If you're emitting that.
You are loved.
So for a long time, I'm like, why do I feel the way I feel if I'm constant? Well, that song kept popping up. It's like, Richard, how can you feel you're all that? Feel it, enjoy it yourself, stay in it, and eventually I started, sensing it. But for the longest time, I'm like, how is it that I don't feel, what all these other people are feeling? And I was like, now I understand. It's that God is that love, that the compassion, it's just, I don't know, it was just felt out of it for a long time until it started being, like self-love, and start bringing that energy within myself, and which made the biggest transformation. That's another thing that I haven't shared a little bit. I feel a lot of it has to do with the reunion of the soulmate and moving forward.
That's happening a lot right now.
Yes, and I feel right now that the masculine energy is coming back in. Like, for example, for me, that's one of the reasons why I feel more empowered, is because I've been working with the goddess energy for the last 5 years, 6 years. And now that I feel my masculine energy coming back in, I could feel like all this power and all this energy coming through. But at the same time, I feel that it's part of the soulmate, that part of that energy coming all back together and having that complete balance within myself. Because I've been feeling the soulmate energies coming in again, and just that balanced presence here within my soul. Again, there's days that it's nothing, and then there's days that it's just like it's all here, and it's like all kinds of stuff that's happening. But again, I'm in the flow of things. I'm just trust and allow, and whatever's meant to be. I'm not worried about anything. I'm just here being present and doing what I'm guided to do, and being with my family members like I am here today. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. I feel like this is all about us working together, men and women and male and female, and it just doesn't matter. Like, I just want to say, it's not about one over the other, against the other. Francine was talking about the Women's March and stuff, and I just thought, I love the idea and the power and all that behind it, but it does kind of encourage separation. So we need that other counterpart in there. Yeah. The male, the men, everybody. I respect your roles, the masculine roles. We're supposed to complement and help each other. Yeah. And we have differences that cannot be denied. We have our special talents and skills and natural abilities that are meant to complement each other, not one over the other, oppress, and so on. When we're working together like we are right now, this is that twin flame relationship. You get the masculine and the feminine energies together, who are self-aware and consciously creating and connected to their divine spirit. Yeah. Holy cow, the power one of us has just by ourselves is tremendous. But you put it together and it's 100, 1,000 times greater. It doesn't take together. A lot of us. Yes. It doesn't. It just doesn't. No, it's so two or more gathered. And
yes.
And it's not.
And it's funny that
about
Go ahead.
Here's the one thing I just want to say about victimhood, victims and abusers, and victims are also abusers in our own right, whether that we might inadvertently abuse other people and not realize it, but we are abusers because we're in the situation that we're in, and we are contributing to our own abuse, if nothing else. So that makes us both. And I don't know anybody who's ever been abusive that wasn't abused first. So, we're both. And we just got to heal that within ourselves. I want to reach out. It's not just about the victims. It's about healing all of us, from our traumas. Yeah. The root of it, we can't change the abusers. We can just help be there for the victims when they, so to speak, when they fall out and they realize what's going on, and they got to get out for themselves, or they've got to make the changes within themselves to stop attracting that to themselves, and this is how we help everybody, by helping ourselves, but by, really, because anyway. Sorry, I went off on a little tangent there, but
no, perfect.
It's a collective story that's being unraveled. I just posted earlier this is thousands of years of programming of being victims. So this is a human species construct. This is not an individual situation, but that's how it's played out right now. And so the energies have been transmuted at the higher levels, and now it's about how that is embedded within each of us individually. So just talking about it and sharing is important at the transmutation. And now the work is like the boots on the ground. You know, that keeps coming into my awareness. Now it's boots on the ground, because it is about the implementation of all of these energies and things that we've been getting, many of us, for years. Now, how do we implement that in what, you know, in person, which we're all being asked to do at the deeper level.
Yes, and one of the biggest things that I feel right now, especially with women's movements, is to add and ask for all those male supporters that are here to assist with the women's movement, to bring those males in, and not to keep just a separation within just women only. Because one of the things about that I've seen, the biggest things that I felt besides the separation there, in the march, the women's march, was the anger and the pushing to try to keep you guys separated even more. And I didn't like, as soon as I seen that, that's when I turned it off, because I didn't want to be part of that reality or part of that. I started setting my own intent, and I know why the universe sent me that, you know, because I had to set my intention to turn that stuff around, you know, as a creator. And that's what happens with all news that gets shown to me. It's not about me forwarding any news anymore. It's about me grabbing that news, integrating it, transmuting it, and setting other intentions and other outcomes of any information that's being shown. Because I only get shown information it's because I'm here to start shifting it to another reality, or so it doesn't completely manifest or start diminishing the outcome. So that's the reason why I get shown news. It's to change the outcomes of these things. It's not to spread the news out there. And a lot of us is not for us to spread. And the crows are confirming right here as I speak. They're outside my window. Oh, they're actually on my tree right here, right in the corner. They're always here.
So I need to.
All right, let's close it out, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for having me.
Thank you, everybody. Love you.
Thank you.
Love you
Pleasure
guys
meeting
too.
you.
Love you too. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.
Peace, love, joy, and abundance.
Friday.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Great day.
Bye.
Blessings.
Blessings.